Hi everyone, welcome to Talk Utah. I'm Trip Mitchell and I'll be joined by Holly Love. Holly, good to see you again, and I'm excited. A new show on Comcast. This is going to be a great way to talk to the people about what a great state Utah is.
I agree. I am super happy to be here.
Now, you've had a little experience. You were in Hollywood for 5 years prior to working in the TV business. Is it great to be back home?
It is great. It's really, I mean, the weather here right now, it is the perfect time to be in Utah. This is my favorite time of year. When it's like cool and crisp outside prior to summer. I'm not the hugest fan of winter. I was a ballerina, so I never skied. And I know that's why most people are here.
If the studio gets above 70 degrees, you've got 9 layers on. So you're not a fan of summer or winter.
Just being cold in general, I'm not a big fan.
You need to be hermetically sealed. And what is with your tan? Are you the whitest person?
I am the whitest person. Trip, you know I don't tan. I'm a natural redhead. This just, it doesn't happen for me. It's not like you.
When you walk outside, do you remember the show True Blood, where people go out and they get burned by the sun?
I do remember.
And that's you.
That's pretty much me, except I don't combust into flames. I just, truly burn. Me and Aaliyah.
Is it tough to be someone who, we're such a sun culture, especially in the state of Utah with all the outdoors and all that stuff. Is it tough to have to slather on the sunscreen? And
it's no fun. But being a natural redhead, my whole life, my mom, anytime I'd be leaving the house, she'd be like, "Holly, do you have sunscreen on?" It was like words that would be like fingernails on a chalkboard growing up, because I absolutely hated it, to be slathered down with it. But now I'm grateful because I don't have, skin cancer or, really bad skin from sun damage, and it's not too bad.
It's funny because actors and actresses are so cognizant of that. Regular schmucks like me, I mean, now we're more conscious. But remember when sunblock was like a SPF 4?
Yeah, well, I don't remember because mine was always like SPF 150, but that's been my introduction to life, was being bathed in sunscreen.
The numbers seem to be getting higher and higher in the sunscreen
And I don't know that it necessarily means anything. I think it just gets bigger. But okay, so tell me, Trip, what have you been doing? What did you do last night?
Last night was a situation where we had some technical issues at the TV station. So
yes, we did.
Literally, we were getting people up and off the mountain. Our transmitter's up on Kessler for our Channel 19 component of this show. And so we had people coming up, people coming down. And so I decided to do all the maintenance on the machines when it was raining.
Of course. You picked the one day it's raining.
I'm the smart guy here.
You can't control the weather, though. It was lovely in the morning, so, what do you do?
Well, we've got to wait till it snows up there. But, the Utah spring is always amazing. And, you think in terms, you get one of those 80-degree days, and then psychologically, we've turned the corner. It's spring.
I know. You just think it's done, and then it starts to rain. You're like, wait, what? And then you remember you're in Utah.
Exactly. But nonetheless, the spring and summer right around the corner. And as you know, I just moved to Sugar House, so I just love that park. And I think one of the great things about Utah, and specifically northern Utah, we have some of the best parks, and we have a culture that is so excited about recreation. And people just love to get out and do cool things.
Well, it's a very outdoorsy state. Love to hike and bike and run and ski and water ski. We can pretty much do it all here for the most part.
We can, and I've got 3 weeks left at Snowbird. We've got our big Snowbird employee party over the weekend. And
that'll be fun.
I work 1 day a week giving tours at Snowbird, and I am, in fact, the worst skier on that mountain who gives tours.
You're admitting that you're the worst at something? Trip Mitchell, Aaliyah, did we take notes of this? Our producer is shaking her head. I think she's passed out.
Well, I'm admitting it only because I've been told that. And my nickname is Wedge, which is not a good name. But nonetheless, I ski the VIPs around the mountain and show them what a great spot we had. And you and I had a chance to go up there a couple weeks ago.
We did. The downhill dummy down?
The downhill dummy?
Downhill.
Dummy Downhill Derby.
Dummy Downhill Derby. There we go. It was 3Ds.
This was an amazingly cool event where every department in the mountain put together a sled, unmanned sled.
It was awesome.
And decorated it, and it goes down a steep hill and then off a jump and then crashes.
You gave me the speed gun, which I was clocking them in at like 30 miles an hour. It was a really good time.
Yeah, anytime for guys that you blow up and demolish things,
it's fun.
They're very happy.
Girls like it too. It was really fun. I enjoyed it.
No, we are so lucky to live, and I've been out of Utah now for 20 some odd years, and I'm so happy to be back here. You've been out for 5 years, and
it is fun to be back.
Great. What's coming up next on the show?
Well, next we have some really good interview with Stephen Handy, who is our representative from Layton, who will be on the show.
Fantastic.
And we've got, what else do we have?
How about some news we can use?
We've got news you can use. We've got a couple of really great news stories. and a segment from the Renaissance Fair.
Ooh, you got to dress up in costumes.
I did get to dress up in costumes.
Well, I'll tell you what,
it's going to be a really great show.
If you throw it to break, I'll bring it out.
All right, I guess that's the deal. We'll be right back after this.
And welcome back to the show. Holly Love, Trip Mitchell. And now in our News You Can Use segment, something that is really gaining attention. And it's kind of scary. And why don't you talk a little bit about genetically modified food?
So there's a company up in Ogden that makes basically supplements of all kinds, from minerals to herbs and all of that. They're called trace minerals, and they're talking about how they're going through this process to be able to label as being non-GMO or genetically modified food, which is, they started doing this a while back on a tomato. It was the first thing they did to make it taste better, increase the shelf life. It means they're adding anything from animal DNA, plant DNA, bacteria, viruses to foods to help make them last longer, taste better. It's really crazy. And you've been eating it and you don't know it because they don't have to label it. In every other country, well, like 64 countries, they have to label if they genetically modify food. But here they don't have to yet. But like Whole Foods, one of your favorite places to go, they are demanding that their vendors go through this really strict process where they just have everything scrutinized to make sure, because even if you're selling beef, it could be they've been fed genetically modified grains. So it's like, man, you can get it from anything.
It sounds scary, but food experts that I see say you don't have anything to worry about.
Of course.
That being said, they might work for Monsanto.
And DuPont, all these crazy chemical company names, which makes me think of, remember when cigarettes were safe? I mean, I just have to say, it's kind of where hormones and all of those things out there, it's very scary to me.
I love to listen to old radio shows, the old Jack Benny shows, and literally they'll have ads on there where a doctor comes on and said that Chesterfield cigarettes are safe. And so it is scary, you know, and some of the, like cell phones, can you talk too long on them?
Yeah, well, I don't think we'll know. We will not know the effects of it for years to come.
The good news is your third ear is very attractive.
Is it?
And that's why that nice long hair kind of...
I know, I placed my hair perfectly so you wouldn't be able to see it. Okay, so we're going to talk a little bit about college and remedial classes. How do you feel about those?
Here is the challenge. I feel very strongly about community colleges need to step their game up.
Okay.
Because right now what's happening is that the cost of colleges and universities has gotten so insanely expensive.
Yes.
You know, higher end schools, $75,000 to $80,000 a year. And in many cases, kids graduate without a discernible skill.
Yeah.
And what the economies around the world that are doing better than us have a vocational training. And by that I mean kids go to a good high school. Germany in particular has a great program, and then these kids go out and they work with industries, but they graduate from high school, go to a vocational school that's tied into, let's say, Mercedes or BMW, and learn discernible computer skills to manufacture and to be able to really work and make a good living. And that's an area where I think the combination of high school systems and the community colleges probably don't work well enough together.
And it's not that you don't enjoy learning from these other classes, but it's just, it's stuff you really don't need. And when you're taking out loans from the government in order to pay for school, and you're spending most of your financial aid taking classes that have absolutely nothing to do with what you're going to do in life, that's a little painful. Or you're paying off a loan like me, a student loan that's like, you know, 20 grand for 20 years after school to take those things, then it just doesn't really make sense.
I have a friend of mine who went to USC, the University of Spoiled Children.
Oh.
About $60,000 a year in Southern California, and his dad looked at his transcript one time and said, I am paying $3,500 for you to take a scuba class at USC when you could be taking the same class at the Y for $300.
I know, continuing education. Save those for after you graduate and you're bored and you want to go hang out.
And the community college here, Salt Lake Community College and around the system, take advantage of that. You don't need to go to some of these specialty schools, except for the Art Institute, where we have some wonderful people.
Love the Art Institute.
Art Institute's the best. But some other schools like Cordon Bleu, there's some cooking schools where you can get all the training you need at a community college, so much less expensive. And then you go to, you know, UNLV in the case of in Vegas to learn the final parts of restaurant management. But you've got to be smart when it comes to education, because so many people waste so much money there. And right now, in this day and age, it's unfair to have kids start their work career with a $40,000, $50,000, $100,000 student loan that they have to pay off.
It's harsh. It's super harsh.
Do you think that we need to have a longer school year and a longer school day?
I don't think so. I don't think a longer school day. I think it's just working smarter, not harder. Because attention spans, I don't think you can keep kids in there. I used to teach ballet, and I've taught about every age that there is. And, you know, I don't think it's about elongating how long we have them sitting in the desk. It's about the time we spend teaching them, make sure it really counts. I think that's where we need to do. But, okay, so I could talk with you forever about this, but we're going to jump to a break, and we'll be right back after this.
Folks, it's Farrell and Holly down here at Union Station. Hey, we're here with the Union Pacific Big Boy 4014. If you haven't seen the show, you can go to On Demand and find it, check it out, see something that's actually older than Craig.
Oh, Craig. Well, that makes up for the horse comment.
Welcome back to Talk Utah with Holly Love. I'm Trip Mitchell, and we're joined today by Representative Steve Handy from Layton District 16. Steve, welcome to the show, and thanks for being here.
I'm just really happy to be here. This can be fun.
Stephen, thank you so much for coming and talking to us today. I know being a representative is a part-time job, but you don't really view it that way, right?
Well, it's very interesting. In Utah, we have a citizen legislature. We're in session 45 days, but there's always kind of something going on. You know, you're always tracking your emails, your messages, dealing with constituent services, and then there are ongoing committees that you serve on. So it's kind of going all the time.
And what do you do outside of all of that?
I'm a public relations and communications consultant is my profession, and so I've been able to find a pretty good balance. Frankly, you can't be in the legislature very long because you can't afford it.
It is not a high-paying career. No. Steve, you got to love it when certain legislators go to Congress, the federal Congress, poor, and 20 years later they're multimillionaires. That doesn't appear to happen a lot in the state of Utah.
What is the deal here? No, you know, so no, nobody's in it for the money in the state of Utah. I'll just tell you this: legislators make about $15,000 a year. We do get a little bit pay, and we do get some health insurance, which is a nice benefit.
That is nice.
Yeah.
Our legislator is so effective in many ways because of the quality of people that the state of Utah elects. I've had the opportunity to live in Nevada where we haven't done as good a job, and there's a joke that we elect them and indict them in the same day.
Oh gosh.
Why do you think the state of Utah has such a great quality of legislators?
Well, I think I think it's just kind of our culture and our state, and people kind of feel this time in their life that they want to give public service. And I think the fact is that you get in, do your thing, make a little bit of a difference, and then get out. Let someone else do it. These are not lifetime things. I've been in for 4 years. I'm running again, and that'd probably be about it.
Do you believe in term limits?
You know, not in the state because we self-select ourselves, but federally I do.
How long would you think that, for instance, a U.S. Senator, 2 terms, 12 years?
I think a U.S. Senator ought to have 2, maybe 3. A representative ought to be there about 10 years.
I think that would be very smart.
Very smart.
And the challenge is that when you get so entrenched, there's no incentive for a state to get, if you have a senator in there 4 or 5 terms, he can do so much good for your state, he almost has a job for life.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Now, this last year, you did some pretty interesting things. Some of them didn't get passed, but let's talk a little bit about clean air proposal in regard to school buses. That seemed like just a no-brainer.
Yeah, terrific. It's interesting, you know, I mean, we can't around here legislate our geography, and people get very frustrated. And what's interesting is that these bad inversions happen during the time the legislature's in session. So it's very topical. I get emails even from family saying, you must do something about cleaning our air. Well, okay, I'll pass a law. But, you know, there are many things we can do. And so we formed a bipartisan caucus, Clean Air Caucus in the House of Representatives that's going to now then move with senators this next year. And we talked about legislation. There were 25 bills that addressed in some respect clean air initiatives. Anyway, I had a bill called the Clean Fuel School Bus and Infrastructure Bill. And what it was doing there, in the state of Utah, we have 2,500 school buses. 1,000 of them are run on what they call dirty diesel, so they're 15 years old or older. And not only are they dangerous to our environment and do pollute, but they also, the pollutants for the the kids on the buses are dangerous and detrimental.
Yeah.
And there's all these studies. Anyway, so this kind of came out of the Transportation Task Force at the State Office of Education. And the bill was asking for a $20 million appropriation that then the districts would bring a matching to that. So it was really a $40 million clean air initiative. Everyone liked it. It got a ton of publicity, passed the House, passed the Senate committee, then died because it wasn't going to get funded. And it was a priority from Governor Herbert too, but you know, there was some politics. Anyway, I'm going to bring it back.
Okay.
Well, it needs to be brought back because it's a common sense. Yeah. And for those of us who get behind a polluting school bus, it's the worst.
Really
I
bad.
mean, you know, you're turning your air off because it just that's a no-brainer. You're also involved in something that is very interesting to me, and that's kind of a federal issue having to do with a transportation corridor for high power line that we're not going to get anything out of. Let's talk about that.
Let's talk about that one. Yes, this was a really tough bill. I didn't see this coming, but just last summer in one of our interim meetings, we had a courtesy call from a group called Transwest, and they said, "By the way, we're
always watch out for courtesy calls."
Yeah, we're bringing this transmission line through the state of Utah. We just thought we ought to know. You ought to know. Legislators went, you got to be kidding me. What do we get out of it? Well, you're going to get some construction jobs and some property tax. Really? Well, so what they're trying to do is build maybe the world's largest wind farm in Wyoming. Great. And then take the power and sell it in Southern California and Nevada trip. But
they still have a house there.
Yeah, but they were going to run it through the state of Utah, and it's like, see, and it was like this analogy, the best analogy, if I have another second to tell you this. Let's say that someone was going to run a 2-lane toll road through the state of Utah and say, you know, no on-ramps or off-ramps. Sorry. Would we allow that? No way. But for some reason, these transmission lines, it's like, oh, it's out there in the hinterland, it's okay. But as we started to study it, no. So we were able to get some legislation that just makes this producer pay attention to 2 big solar farms, a potential nuclear plant in the state of Utah, that they can get access to these lines to put their product on. It's just really gets their attention, kind of a stake in the ground.
Well, I've got so many more questions. We're unfortunately out of town.
Sorry. I'll come back.
I would love to have you come back. Stephen, thanks so much.
Well, thank you, Tripp and Holly. Thank you so
very
much.
And
It's
work
been
on
wonderful.
getting that call in to the big man upstairs to clean up the air here.
I'll do it.
It's
okay,
bad.
I'll do it.
Yeah, just lower the okers. Make that a
I'll make that a call.
It'll make it. We'll be back with more Talk Utah after this short break.
Welcome back, everyone. So I had a chance to go up to Integrated Wellness in Bountiful and talk with Dr. Corey Frogley. I'm really excited for you to see this trip. They have an amazing facility up there.
Well, what Dr. Frogley does, and after getting a chance to watch the video and ask you some questions about it, is pretty cool. Instead of being a specialist in one area, he's got a whole team approach, interdisciplinary approach, where everyone sits around, they interview the patient, find out what's going on, and he has a team that works with the patients, and the outcomes are better than normal. And plus the fact Dr. Frogley and his group are just really nice people.
They are really good guys, so we'll take a look. Hey everybody, today I am here at Integrated Wellness with Dr. Corey Frogley. Dr. Frogley, thank you so much for letting us swing by.
Thanks for being here.
Okay, so of course I want to talk to you about healthcare, but more specifically about why people are so frustrated with it. Does this topic sound familiar to you?
Every day.
Okay, so what I hear the most is that people are sick of how healthcare has become so specialized. So if you have allergies, you have to go to an allergy specialist. And if you have a back problem, you have to go to a back specialist. Now the allergy doctor doesn't know and probably doesn't want to know what the back doctor's doing. Yeah. And neither one of them are taking the time to figure out if there's any correlation between the two problems. Does this sound about right?
Yeah, it's compartmentalized.
And it's crazy to manage all of these different doctors. Now, I have been a patient of Integrated Wellness for the last 8 years, and you guys have treated me for everything from chronic pneumonia to a very, very severe back injury. So obviously you guys are doing something a little bit different.
We are. In fact, here at Integrated Wellness, we have incredible doctors. We have a team of specialists. We have a medical doctor on staff. We have an allergy specialist, a nurse practitioner, a chiropractor. We do physical therapy, weight loss, massage. And imagine coming into a facility where you could meet with somebody who actually specializes in your condition and then takes those exam findings and goes and meets with a team of specialists to review your case. And as they coordinate your exam findings, they actually have their different opinions from the different specialties and come up with the best treatment plan that's going to be tailored for you.
What are the most common health problems that you guys see in here?
We see a lot on the metabolic side, chronic diseases, things like rheumatoid arthritis, thyroid disorders, hormone imbalances, chronic fatigue. The way that we treat those is through a very specialized formulation of nutrients that we bypass the gut for people who can't absorb nutrients, and so they're not getting healthy, and we infuse it directly into the bloodstream. And that nutrients can get into the cells that then the cells can regenerate and heal. The other pathway that we see is pain, similar to when you came in with a disc herniation and sciatica. And as we treat those, we have very specialized treatment where we do spinal decompression to rejuvenate the disc. We have joint injections where we can actually regenerate damaged tissue. We have a high-powered laser that we're able to help accelerate the healing process and really minimize pain as a patient comes in.
All right, so what is the best way for people to get started?
Pick up the phone and call us. We accept most major health insurances, but if you don't have health insurance, we will provide for you a $37 gift certificate that allows you to come in and actually meet with our team and really see if your condition is something that our facility is a perfect match for.
Dr. Frogley, thank you so much again for talking with us today, and I can't wait for you to come back on Talkutah and give us some more health tips.
Absolutely.
In the meantime, thank you for joining us, and be sure and see for yourself how Integrated Wellness can improve you.
Folks, it's Farrell and Holly down here at Union Station. Hey, we're here with the Union Pacific Big Boy 4014. If you haven't seen the show, you can go to On Demand and find it. Check it out. See something that's actually older than Craig.
Oh, Craig. Well, that makes up for the horse comment. I made it. We are here at the Renaissance Festival with the absolutely gorgeous Laura Bador, who is the queen of the festival. Now, I feel like I've traveled back in time. Laura, tell me exactly where am I?
We are in the village of Hawkhurst, also known as Marriott Slaterville, and the Utah Renaissance Festival and Fantasy Fair. It's those many names because you can go Elizabethan, you can go peasant, you can go fairy, you can go pirate. We can go whatever you want. That's part of the fun.
Nice. Well, I've been talking about this for a little while here on AM Utah about what we're going to do. Make me over into a Renaissance something. And of course, Tripp recommended that I become a wench because, it's not a far stretch.
Well, it's because trip is a knave. And what else would he want but a wench to go with his knave? It's kind of a given.
Notice he's not here.
I know.
You know, that little stinker. But he's up skiing, I'm sure, and enjoying this last day of, well, maybe not the last one, but at least a very warm day on the slopes. Oh my gosh, and how about the weather? Just turning right up to 80 for you today.
Oh, it's a beautiful day, and it continues for the full 4 weekends in May. Not the very last weekend, but this weekend and the three following. If you want to come up Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, bring your kids. You get to see nightly tournaments. You get to have turkey legs. You can dress up, which is one of the things we're going to do for you right now. We're going to get you all renaissanced.
Okay, now before we go, do you want to give like car directions, how we find you?
It's actually really easy. You can find a map on UtahRenFest.com. You can also find us very simply by just going to the next exit after the 12th Street, if you're heading north, 12th Street Ogden exit, and then head west, Marriott Slaterville. You'll see a lovely banner right by the dirt road where you turn, and you'll find us.
It's super easy. I found it. So, I mean, seriously. And it's such a delight. We have nights out here fighting. I'm going to get a makeover. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Hey, this is Alan, the sports guy from the Dog and Do Show here on AM Utah. We're here at the Renaissance Fair and Fantasy Festival. I'm here with, tell me your name.
Benor will work.
Benor, and you're a knight of bashing, is that correct?
You could say that, yeah.
All right. Well, tell me a little bit about what you're doing here, and so are you competing in the tournament?
We're actually just kind of going out there and just looking cool.
Looking cool, nice.
It's real though, it's full contact, and I came here with my buddy who's an armorer. I'm actually his apprentice, and we make this stuff full time. This stuff is very much protective gear, so we got to make it right. We grind the metal too thin or something that could end in serious injury or even worse. So you got to be careful of this stuff.
It looks pretty heavy duty too. And tell me your name.
Name's Sir Levi.
Sir Levi, well, thanks for joining us. Now, you got the get-up going on here.
Yeah.
So are you going to compete?
Oh yeah, I've been competing all day long.
Really? Okay. So tell me, what's it like? I mean, it seems like it's pretty real.
Yes, it's very real. If you ever get in a head-on collision with Volkswagen with another one, that's kind of what it's like.
So there was some rumors and some talk that I was going to be competing in this. I think I might bow out of this one, man. I mean, this looks pretty heavy duty, and you look like a tough guy. I don't know if I can compete, man. I don't know if I can hang.
Yeah, I would go through some training first, for sure.
That's what I keep hearing. I keep hearing you got to improve your swordsmanship. I have none of that. Never picked up a sword in my life, so I could be a sitting duck. So we'll see. I might chicken out last minute. Well, guys, thanks for joining us. We really appreciate it. Really love what you guys are doing here. Good luck in the tournaments. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, I have got the costume, and I'm about to find out if I'm a lady or a wench. Is that right?
Well, this is a fair maiden costume, but this is a little known truth.
Okay.
Back in the day, you could tell if someone was a lady or a naughty, naughty lady because of how they laced up.
I better learn both ways.
Yeah, you never can tell who you're around. So, if you lace it from the top going down, then you're a lady.
Oh.
If you lace it from the bottom going up, anyone in Venice and the courtesans who could undo their dress anytime they wanted, let's just say they were a little more of a free spirit.
There we go. Okay, well, good to know. So
I guess you're a lady.
We'll be a lady. Yes, definitely. For TV, we gotta keep it clean.
All right, me lady, we'll string you up here nice and proper.
Thank you. So now this is from Mask Costume.
It is. This is my costume shop. So when I'm not playing Queen Elizabeth, I get to play fairy godmother to pretty much anybody that shows up that wants to buy or rent a costume.
What don't you do? How much would something like this go, and what if I just wanted to keep it for the weekend?
Well, if you wanted to rent
be able to lace it in any way I please.
That's a very good idea. So you would get to rent this for an entire weekend for just $55. Now, if you were to buy it, because this is a museum replica, meaning it's not actually from a museum, but they use the pattern of an actual kind of Renaissance era dress.
Okay.
It's going to be a little more expensive, so it's really made quite well. So you might figure you're going to spend about $150 to $200 for an entire outfit of a really nice quality. But if you're looking for a rental, you've got high theatrical quality for not a high theatrical price.
That's fantastic, because I know I've spent a lot online before for something very, very chintzy, very stupid actually.
Well, you know, that's the hard thing about buying online, and that's one thing we love about being a store that's local. If someone comes in and says, well, I really want to get this, but I don't know if it's going to be any good. I know so many of the vendors, I can tell them straight up, well, it's going to be like pajama material. It's going to be really cute, or it's the official licensed version, but you may not like the quality, or it's good enough for what you want. So we love being consultants and helping people know what they're getting when they buy online.
Well, you better tell us how to find masks so everyone can come and find a great costume.
Absolutely. Well, if you remember the old costume closet building, it's 39th South, 718 East, just right next to the Arctic Circle. That's my first shop, and then we have another one in Taylorsville, right next to the New Planet Fitness, 5400 South and Redwood Road. So you can come and see us anytime, or just go to maskcostumes.com.
Voila, the makeover is complete. We'll do a little bowing. So we'll be right back after this.
So Farrell, I was just interviewing a guy over there, and that guy right over there, and he really hurt my feelings. He said, you know what? He said, as good as you guys are, you will never, ever be on demand. He said that.
Well, he's wrong, because if you look right here, that's where you can find us on demand.
Just that easy.
That easy.
That's right. Click on the left nipple, move over to the right nipple, go straight down to the navel, and you're there.
And we are back. So, what do you think about today? Talkutah, Trip Mitchell. Did you
I
have
had
a good time?
a great time. Our first show, we were so excited to be on Comcast, working with Bill Francis and his whole crew of talented people. This is going to be a lot of fun. And boy, you guys did a great job at the Renaissance Fair.
We had a lot of fun out there. And you and I go way back. We've been on Channel 19 for a little while. And now we're on Channel 19 and Comcast. I'm really looking forward to this. We're going to have a lot of fun.
Well, we have a lot of great stories that we're going to talk about in the future.
Trip has a lot of great stories.
Well, no, we're going to discover some great people here in Salt Lake and the environs, and this is going to be a lot of fun, and I'm excited to work with the lovely Holly Love. But that'll do it. All good things come to an end.
Yes, they do.
Show number 1 in the can. Stay tuned on these Comcast channels for more great Talk Utah. For Holly Love, I'm Trip Mitchell. Thanks for watching, and have a wonderful day.